On the internet, the Blackpill is a brutal, fatalistic mindset. Seeing your looks, genetics, and autism seal your fate in dating, society, and life. It's spreading like wildfire online, ruining young men's mental health and pushing them into toxic cycles of looksmaxxing, gym obsession, and even transhumanist extremes. On my old channel, I opened up about my autism and my struggles how they all made me feel like an outsider in a world that values chads above all. But the internet is forcing this poison onto everyone, creating sterile, unhealthy alphas who forget to have kids while chasing perfection. The Blackpill, if you think about it, is just a worldview from an artist's lens, lacking some empathy or even some schizoid personality traits, and how online culture is destroying society with dating apps, looksmaxxing, and gym cults, and why political solutions like the community building and anti-globalist ideas I've talked about in my videos are the real way out. We're diving into the Blackpill ideology and its ties to autism, drawing from my personal experiences, from my autistic perspective on blackpilling and the looksmaxxing deep dive that exposes its dark side. We'll also explore how the internet culture is ruining dating and society, forcing people into extreme self-improvement like gym culture and transhumanism. Why even chads end up sterile and childless from the pressure, and tie it to political spins with solutions from my past videos. Because this isn't just personal despair, it's a societal trap we can break with the right mindset. The Blackpill boils down to this: your genetics, especially your looks, determine everything in life, from dating success to social status. And if you're not a chad, tall, jawline, muscular ideal, you're doomed to loneliness and fail. It's the darkness of the pill ideologies. Blue pill believes in personality wins. Red pill says you can level up your status and game, but black pill says it's all over if you're subpar. Forums like Spaces and looksmaxxing communities push this hard, rating people on the PSL scales 1 to 8 and calling anyone below sub 5 subhuman. For autistic people, it's a double whammy. I watched this video one time that Alex Buzz made about how autism makes you social cues and flirting tough. Compounding the Blackpill's fatalism, one commenter even said autistic folks are screwed from the start and less attractive, because even good-looking autists get more friends and dates. I felt this to do with my autism, dyslexia, and it made me feel visibly off. And I would say things like that were inappropriate or just come off as weird. I feel like I didn't fit the mold. Online, it amplifies. Anonymous forums tell you you're an autistic stare, or awkwardness in it is a death sentence in dating. But it's not hopeless. Awareness helps you detach from toxicity. Internet culture is the Blackpill's fuel, destroying real-world connections. Social media like Instagram bombard you with filtered models. Men see softcore teasing. Women scroll chads on Tinder, inflating standards so high that real people seem inadequate. Dating apps make it worse. Endless swapping or swiping turns relationships into a hypermamous market. Everyone chases better, leading to loneliness spikes. Algorithms don't want you to find love, they just want you to keep you in the same place unless you pay them. I remember that I used a bunch of dating apps, similar to experience to Alex's, such as Tinder or Hinge, where I would only get one match from this one girl near my area and got nothing in return. I spoke to her briefly about taking her on a holiday, and that was about it, even though I knew some of the women on their IRL. And I still didn't even match, even when I knew I was compatible with these women. The algorithm decided otherwise, not me. Got nothing in return, even when I added my hot shirtless photos that I got more likes on, but again, no interaction. I guess Hinge or Tinder limit who you can speak to via DMs in case it's to stop the creeps, but I actually beg to differ. Looksmaxxing emerges from this soft skincare, hair, gym, or hard surgery, steroids, and burn smashing. This video on looksmaxxing shows how it starts with self-hate, not respect. Forums rate celebs like Michael B. Jordan facially challenged, or Ryan Gosling a 5.75, fostering harsh critique. Gym culture ties into this with to do with the looksmaxxing for muscle, but it creates unhealthy obsessions like disordered eating or nutrition deficiencies from extreme diets. I still do a lot of looksmaxxing like facial exercises, eating healthy or working out. Sure, my jawline is not the best or my nose may be a little bit off to some people, but I never dwell on it and just focus on me. A lot of people probably do consider me retarded looking, but it's the internet. I look normal, but that's better than nothing, I guess. I did try some software called Tech, and this was, it was taken a while back actually, that rated my face from 7 out of 10. Which, even if I was an incel, I would not rate max even then. It kind of reminds me of Elliot Rodgers, where he would be constantly worried about not getting any due to his mental illness from being half Asian, like autism and schizophrenia. I empathise with him, not on what he did, but the feeling of inadequacies and social cues, as mentioned in his manifesto that he cried after speaking to a girl and not getting any attention off her. Even though for a happer, he was not super bad looking. His dad did not help with his mental illness and thus led up to his death. In truth, the spoiled rich kid ended up dead due to poor parenting. Other happers like Keanu Reeves are not bad looking either and still get girls, but that identity issues still plague him, as he professed to loving blondes because he knows his inadequacies, as I mentioned before, of him not being pure enough. People like Clavicular push transhumanism, and to do with the self-surgery, steroids from age 14 that he did, using loads for procedures, ruining health like liver failure and perception, regretting wasted time as self-view worsened, even when he had to admit saying it was worth it, spending up to $35,000 on surgeries, but you could tell he's lying. The societal expectation amplified this. Online pressure makes chads chase perfection endlessly, but they just end up being sterile and childless from all the roid surgeries and delayed families. Pointless evolutionary just end up becoming a dead end. It's something like off of the film Zoolander, where Ben Stiller plays a supermodel and takes the stereotypes of being an overly dramatic and perfection in performance too seriously. The best lookers forget to reproduce while sub-5s despair. Globalism and multiculturalism push diversity, but ignore how apps homogenise beauty standards, eroding traditional communities where personality mattered more. The Blackpill thrives in isolation, online societies. As mentioned by Ryan Volk, the internet does not attract, well, normal people exactly. Politics offers escapes. As I said in my videos, building real communities counters this. Nationalist policies promoting family values, anti-globalist trades that protects local jobs, and rejecting woke individuals that glorifies looks over substance. Something community-driven like litter picking stops you worrying about becoming something else entirely. For Spags, structured social programs or mentorships could help you navigate dating without blackpill despair. Maybe even something like religion if you're too much of a spag or just want to meditate, and being in some type of Buddhist temple keeps the rope away, and not to intertwine personal relationships too much. Helps calm the mind away from your spaggy obsession to do with being an artist in the dating market. For normies, it's not very healthy to avoid sexual relationships though, like kings would have kids despite having to remain celibate. Ditch the apps for in-person interactions. As Buzz suggests, spend time outside with your people to lower your warp standards or get too disconnected from reality. Politically, push for media regulations to stop harming algorithms rather than protect children. Strawmans. Solutions like trade schools over degrees build skills confidence without debt traps. Getting that type of hobby again would get you laid, but artists would be better of creating rather than destroying. If we had stronger borders and cultures, we'd value traits over superficial mogging. Like Blackpill is a symptom of a broken society we can fix with political will. Blackpill's fatalism is weakness. Autism or subhuman looks don't doom you if you get rejected online in the echo chamber. And to do with my journey of autism and dyslexia and ADHD, where I've talked about this in parts of my videos, I focus on my strengths rather than just blackpill lies or just one-track thinking, quite similar to Rehab Room as well. Real corrections beat superficial standards. So anyway guys, hopefully you enjoyed this video about me talking about the blackpill. I know this was a little bit different from what I talk about, quite similar to my repping video I did last week. And the reason why I'm talking about the blackpill and autism is kind of like autists do have a habit of just one-track mind or thinking, where basically you just kind of think of just one particular issue and just want to focus on fixing or finding a solution to it, you know, like pattern recognition. And I just think that when you are blackpilled, it just make you kind of like autistic, and I've kind of been that where I've self-allocated in my room or just been a little bit negative messaging people. And I just think that, you know, you need to escape that part of being too, like, blackpilled, because obviously, you know, a lot of people just want to get high or get off on the nihilism. And I just think that just to essentially keep the rope away and just not really worry about kind of the world collapsing and everything just being destroyed, I think that a good way of this is actually being able to find ways around this, you know, like I remember speaking to one of my Discord members and he said that, I think to do with his meditation, because he's like a Buddhist, and basically he said that if you do like Buddhism, it kind of like, you know, not just keeps the rope away, but it's also to do with, I guess, being able to be Manasonic, if I can remember if I pronounce it correctly, and basically just when you dedicate your time and energy to a lot of things, I think it's just a lot better and healthier just to like be in a monastery and basically just do chores all day. And obviously that sounds like it sucks and it sounds boring, but I just think that if you're like an autist and you're like a spag, you know, maybe it's probably best that you just, you know, kind of just practice faith, because then it kind of stops you from like overthinking. Because I know with autism, especially me, that I like to overthink. Like for example, earlier today, I think as of recording this video, you know, I struggled a lot just to trying to get going with recording, and obviously I was kind of self-allocating because I was just doing some research for something else. And I just think that obviously if you do get distracted, it kind of just makes you a bit like anxious, and obviously you've thought it, so you just kind of overthink all of it over the day. But obviously if you were to avoid the overthinking, it, like I said, it's just best to kind of find something that you can just get into, and also be able to get, you know, get skills that like a trade job, because then that way that is also like another distraction. Maybe it's a curb, and maybe the black pill is too, I guess, one-track minded for you to basically just say, oh, just give up and never do anything and just sit in your room and self-allocate, which again, there is a way out of this with the suggestions that I said earlier. And as well, if you want to go in the link in the description with links to my other channels and my Discord as well.